Hey guys, this is Manny, and today we're going to talk about the AWS S3 through the AWS CLI. This is very important for you to be able to retrieve some data that you might want and not want to be in the console all the time. It's kind of a great starting point because we can use this to upload files, copy files, move them from bucket to bucket, create buckets, and sync as well to your local folder. So let's begin. So first, because you want to use the AWS CLI, you need to have AWS CLI installed, right? And in this case, let's see, we have the 2.29. Okay, so give me a second. I actually need to start my where's this? I need to start my virtual environment. Okay, perfect. Now it's started. Now let's make sure still working. Okay, now we want to AWS configure just to make sure everything's okay. Yep, that's the access key, that's the key ID. Make sure the default region is the one that you want to deploy to. So meaning go to your AWS console and make sure that you're in the right one. So in my case, you can see here I'm in the US East, right? And most of these folders are going to be in the US East, right? You can see US West here as well. But US East is the main one, right? So that's where you want to be. And for me, the default output format is usually JSON, so that works fine. So what you want to do is get to the documentation for AWS. So for example, let's go to AWS CLI, right? 2.0 documentation. Okay. You're viewing the documentation for an older major version. Okay, no, I want to see the CLI version 2. So to view this page, CLI version, click here. Okay, all right. So for example, but just before, if you want installation instructions, they're here, and just follow the steps there. Okay. So okay. So now we use command reference. We want to go to the particular service called S3. Wow, as you can see, there's a lot of services available. Okay, so AWS S3, great. And we can copy, we can move, and we can remove. All right, and then we can make bucket, remove bucket, list buckets. Okay. So let's go. Usually, you just want to read through the documentation that you want, right? But in S3, we look at the available commands. You can go all the way down, and the synopsis, right? How it works, how you essentially would put in a command is AWS S3, your command, right? The commands, available commands, so one of these, and then an argument, whatever you need to put in. So for example, if you want to make bucket, right? Let's click on MB. The synopsis is MB, right? An example would be AWS S3 make bucket. What bucket? No, that's the bucket. Okay. So yeah, pretty straightforward. And as you can see here, you can select the region, right, where you want to put it in. So let's do exactly that. I'm gonna go to the VS Code. I'm just gonna put it on the side. You guys can see this great, but I think that's the best way to see side by side what we're doing. So we are already authenticated, right? We verified our access key and secret access key ID. Everything is in there. So now let's see AWS S3, and then let's say we have no idea how to do anything. So we want information, AWS S3, and you can scroll through this if you need information. It's kind of the same information that we have here, right? As you can see. So click on Q, you write back out. So you want to do AWS S3. In this case, we're gonna make a bucket, right? The default region, as we know, is going to be US East, but you can assign it as well. So let's do and your bucket name. So remember, it has to be unique, right? That's the rule with buckets. Buckets have to be unique. So let's do Manny in the cloud. I already created one before, but I'm going to create a 2. Let's see. Hopefully no one has this and it's unique. So as you see where it says make bucket, manning the cloud 2, that is the output that we would get here, right? Make bucket and then the name of your bucket. Okay, so let's go back and let's take a look at our S3. So let's go to S3. And as you can see, our buckets have a Manny in the cloud too, and it's empty. Okay. So that's pretty cool. You just create a bucket through the AWS CLI, right? And that means you can use any of these commands under S3 to do anything. So let's go back to S3. Let's take a look at our available commands. We're gonna list and then we're going to copy and then move. Okay, so let's copy, for example, local path, and you can see all the options that you have. These are called these would be the arguments. But as you can see, the copy needs a local path, right, where your file is, and then the S3 location where you want to put it. Okay, or if you want from S3 to copy to a local path, you can do that, or from S3 bucket or S3 URI to S3 bucket. Okay, and if you want more information on everything, right, you can just read through here. So let's go back and say we want to copy a file. Okay, so let's go here. Let's see if I can kind of zoom in this. Okay, cool. We can zoom. Okay, so let's see. We want to template. Yeah, we can do this template. CFN templates. Okay, so we are working directory. Okay, we're there. So let's just to make it more simple, we're gonna go AWS LS. Then we're gonna CFN templates. Okay, and then we want to copy this. So AWS S3, and then what's the file that we want to copy? We want to copy the EC2 template. YAML. Okay, and then we want to move it to the bucket, right? So we put the bucket name. So Manny in the cloud. That's what we want. So we are using AWS S3, the command. Ooh, we're missing the command. See, it's good to go over, I guess. So copy, right? That's the command. And then the arguments, which is the local path, right? And we don't need the local path because we're already inside the folder, right? And then to the S3 bucket. So click on enter. And the output for that is going to be upload. We're going to uploading .ec2 template YAML to that S3 bucket, and we're going to call it that. Okay. Let's go here. Let's go to S3. We are going to manning the cloud 2. Let's refresh, and we can see that the EC2 template is up here. Okay. So now let's do the next one. So we have done copy, right? What is the next one? So LS, okay. LS, okay. So LS, you just needs LS, and then you can select a bucket or none. Okay, that's fine. We can do that. So let's AWS S3 LS, and it's gonna list all the buckets, right? So what happens if I actually tell it to? I think it needs more arguments, but oh, it doesn't. So that's 3 buckets. You just need the name of the bucket, and it will display when it was uploaded, right? Today, what time, and the file name. I don't know what the 472 is, but that would be it'd be cool to kind of know what that is. Oh, the size. Cool. It's 472 bytes. So that's cool. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Make bucket and then move, right? We can move it. So move, and it requires a local path or there, or okay. So copy, move, we kind of did that. But let's move the test template to the ARI. So let's go to confirmation. We're gonna do S3, right? Move. We are going to move template YAML to S3. I wonder if we can just do that. See what happens. Usage, invalid argument. Okay, so it's telling me do those. All right, so okay, I'm sorry. So let's go to S3. Okay, so that works. That we needed to use. So as you can see, sometimes you don't have to list something specific, but in this case we did. So let's see if, as you can see, right here, we don't have the template anymore. We had a template YAML, and you can see it was deleted, meaning it was moved, and it really moved. So we want to go to the manage the cloud template. Okay, so let's just go here. Let's go back to Amazon S3, manage the cloud, and we can see that there is a template here. Okay, cool. And we can open it. Wonder if, yeah, we can allow pop-ups. If we open it, that was the template. Cool, that works. All right, so let's go back. I'm gonna go there, and then let's go back to VS Code. All right, what is the next one actually that we need? We need pre-signed. Nah, I think I'll skip on pre-signed. There's a pre-signed URL. That's fine. Oh, actually, receive the pre-signed URL to retrieve the S3 bucket with an HTTP requests. That is pretty cool. So let's see how that works actually. So let's do pre-sign. So AWS S3 pre-signed. Okay, let's do S3. Okay, manning in the cloud, and we know that template.yaml is in there. So cool. So it created an AWS S3 pre-sign. Oh, so let's go. Let's just do it. See if this works. Copy this, AWS S3 pre-signed. Cool. Yeah, we used that URL and we were able to download the file. That's pretty awesome. Okay, cool. And then let's go to what is RB? Ooh, okay. Deletes an empty S3 bucket. Remove bucket. Right, MB is make bucket, remove bucket. A bucket must be completely empty of objects before it can be deleted. However, the force parameter can be used to delete. Okay. So it's a boolean. Deletes all objects. Okay. So let's do that. Let's do force. Okay. So we're gonna delete the manage the cloud 2 bucket. So AWS S3 remove bucket RB. We want to do manage in the cloud and the cloud 2, and it won't allow us because there's something inside, right? Invalid argument type. Oh, right. So let's just do first this. Remove bucket failed. When calling the bucket you trying to delete is not empty. Correct, right? And that's true. It is not empty. So we want to do force true. See what happens here. Unknown options. Oh, maybe this goes first because we do need the bucket here. So force true. Oh, maybe I don't need boolean. Cool, I don't need a boolean. So cool. It said boolean, but I'm not entirely sure why. Delete, remove bucket, manage the cloud 2. Okay. So we use the force. Let's go here. Force. So I'm guessing if we don't include force, then it just doesn't do it. So cool. And yeah, if you right, if I would have seen any kind of examples what I would need it to do, then it would have shown, right? Hey, just use the force. You don't need to the true or false. So I'm learning just as we're learning together essentially right now. But these videos help me kind of touch everything as well. So all right, so we have all the buckets here. Let's refresh, and that bucket is gone. Manning the cloud bucket is gone. So, Monday Cloud 2. Okay. Let's see. Let's go remove. Okay. Remove bucket to SD. Okay. So essentially, you can just copy this, right? We don't have to do it all over again. But it's kind of nice to do it, especially when you're beginning. So my bucket is gonna be Manny in the cloud, and the file that we want to get rid of is template.yaml, the one that we just uploaded. So delete, right? Cool. Let's go back here. S3, Manny the cloud. That should be gone. Okay, perfect. It's gone. All right, so great. So let's go to the next one. S3, remove sync. What is sync? Syncs the directories. Okay, I mean that could work. So let's create a bucket and then sync it. Let's do that. Let's try that. So we're going to AWS S3, make bucket. It's gonna be S3. Manny in the cloud is back. Okay, and then yeah, that's all we need. Cool. So we're gonna make the bucket, and then let me just in the bucket. Okay. Only creates folders in a destination if they contain one or more files. Okay. Interesting. All right. So let's just create a folder. So let's create directory. No, create directory. Manny in. Let's do Manny in the cloud folder. Okay, and then Manny subfolder. Okay. Okay, cool. All right, so we're gonna sync CFN templates completely. Okay, let's go to AWS S3 sync. I think that's what it was. Let's minimize this. Let's go sync, local path, and S3 URI. Okay, so let's go here, Amazon S3. Let's refresh this. Don't forget to refresh sometimes. Manny the cloud is back. Okay, it's empty. Cool. So we have to do a sync, and then we have to do the local path and the S3 URI. Okay. So we want to 3. Okay. So okay. So we want to AWS S3 sync. Yep, that's the command. And then the local folder that we want to do, which is gonna be projects, AWS. Actually, let's do all AWS. Let's do that. And then we want to do S3 bucket. Oh, actually, let's not do that. Just in case I want to delete everything. Templates, and we're gonna do Manny in the cloud folder. Cool. Yeah, and let's move it to S3, to the bucket, Manny in the cloud. The cloud is back. Cool. So that should work. That should sync it. Okay, so you see here there's a subfolder, so we should have Manny the cloud folder and a subfolder there in the kind of like the root of Manny the cloud is back. So let's go to S3. Let's go to S3 here. It's not syncing. I'm not sure why. Or did we have an output? Was there options to do it? Oh, I see. Do everything. Oh, maybe because there's no files, right? And it's not doesn't want to do alone. Okay, we can do that. Let's create a file here. So let's go to AWS. CFN templates, cd manning the cloud. Okay, all right. Touch template template.yaml. Okay, let's get a folder there, and then we're gonna do go to cb subfolder, and then we're gonna touch template one YAML. Okay, all right. So we essentially should have this. So we just create two folders, two files. So if it is syncing, according to this, we should have something in manning the cloud is back, and we don't. We don't. So I need to figure out why that is. Hey guys, okay, so the issue was that there was, in fact, not a lot of, no files in there. Let me minimize this and I'm gonna show you why. So we didn't read this, right? But I kind of like skipped through it and I didn't read this. It says only creates folders in the destination if they contain one or more files. Okay, so now there are files. Remember we created the folders, we just had to rerun the same script. And as you can see, AWS S3 sync, I just ran the command that we had done earlier, this one, again. I pretty much did the exact same thing right here. Okay. That's all I did. And that sync worked. So it's synced. It was a forced sync, but it's synced. So I wonder if there's a way to kind of just do it on its own without me having to do it over and over. But that's something that I'll have to do for the next time. Okay. So I think we're missing one more. Let's go back to S3. Website. What is website? Set the website configuration for a bucket. Okay. Website index document. Oh, okay. So we can ignore this one. We wouldn't. This wouldn't tell with us. We don't have an index HTML file. But yeah. So that is all about S3, AWS S3, and we'll go one by one. I'll go through the other AWS CLI options for services. I did S3 because it was kind of very basic. Kind of helps us to get started. And if you were kind of doubting, hey, how do I start with the AWS CLI? It's very simple, and you can do what I did. And next time, just select a different one and see how it goes. I know in CloudFormation we're using it often, so this is something that we would like to do. As for example, you can create a stack, right? And then to create a stack, you can just put your stack name and of course the template, right, that you want to deploy, which is pretty cool. So if you guys have any questions or want me to go through a specific AWS CLI or both 3 calls, that works. Just let me know.